Deep. Anyone want to showcase their homework?
No.
Babuji, we couldn't hear. Yes, Vandana.
Yeah, I just did the Excel part, the pivot table, or the
Okay.
expense.
Do you want to showcase this thing? Can I make you co-host?
Sure.
Okay, and I'll stop this thing and I'll stop share. So please go ahead now. See, this is a kind of learning, right? And once you present, again, there's nothing right or wrong. Whenever you join an organization, there we will learn what is the organization's adaptability to this process, right? And that's what we need to follow. But we should have a generic idea, like, what do you mean by when somebody asks you trend analysis, when somebody asks you high-level diagrams, when somebody asks you a mind map, SWOT analysis. This is what we're going to learn. And from all our experience, all our understanding of requirements, of the, Excel sheet, the data collection, and so on and so forth. On the basis of these basics, we will basically build a building of requirement gathering and the business analysis of it. So we'll analyze the requirement, we'll analyze the business, and try to present an initial solution to the client and within our organization, so that they can take it forward to build the actual solution, build actual, construct actual solution from the requirement. It can be a project, solution, services, what all they demand, or it can be mix and match of all those things. We could understand this, right? Anybody have any confusion on these? Yes, Vandana, you can, say share screen or, share any application so that you can have a look at it. Vandana, you are the most, forthcoming participant here. Because every time you present, every time, we discussed in depth, that's really good. It clearly shows the initiatives and all those things. Even in project management, this is what we need. Unless until you initiate something, you don't learn, because project management is a bit complicated than business analyst, because there we lead people, right? And quite a few careers depend on us. So we need to show those leadership as an additional skill. We need to take them with us and lead them to construct, to build, to test, to validate, verify, and then give it to the client, release it to the client, and so on and so forth. Yes, madam.
So can you see the screen now?
Yes, ma'am. Health spending. Perfect, ma'am.
So this is actually the expense, the credit statement that I got, and for the different dates, right? So this is actually for November, December, January, Feb, March, so 3 or 4 months. So this is the copy, and I actually made the pivot table out of this. Is like I think 400, 500 rows, something like that, whatever. So every statement, every line, I actually did give the category myself, that this comes under health spending, this is home improvement, this is utilities, this is Indian grocery, and all that, right?
Okay,
And then I made what's that?
No, good. It's really great.
So,
hard work.
So then I made the pivot table based on the category.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Why can't
Everybody seeing this thing, this is what we need. Okay, we are going to understand how we can segregate these expenses according to the groups. According to the groups you believe are the categories or segregation we need to understand. Please go ahead, ma'am. Shows the
So again, I'm not actually able to select the sheet, because if you see the copy expense, I'm on the copy expense sheet right now, right? So I want to go on total expense. It is not letting me select that. I cannot select a total expense here.
Okay, do control tab, control, keep it press and tab. Nothing happened?
No.
Application, I believe.
No. Just a second. Okay, I don't know. So here again, I'm not able to do it. Just give me 1 second. Can I stop the share?
Yeah, please. Do as you feel right. Yes. No worries there. And these type of glitches do happen even if you start presenting. So please don't worry on this thing. This is also kind of part of life. This thing do happen sometimes.
No, exactly the same thing happened last time when I
Yeah,
worked with Lucid, right? But now I actually got the subscription for the Excel for the MS Office. So
okay.
I have done on that. This is not Lucid anymore.
Oh man.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me close and open it again.
No problem, no problem. Anybody have any question? Who all are have their work, means who can showcase their work except Vandana ma'am?
Okay, can I do it now again? Can I just share it?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Babuji, have you tried?
So
Nabila
this
has
is
problem with her laptop, so that's another thing.
so
Oh
this
wow.
is what I did. So I made a pivot table based on category. So this is what how much I spend on Amazon. This
Wow.
is how much I spent on clothing, takeout food, gas, Costco, Indian grocery, and all these things, utilities, kids' activities, home improvement, health spending, all these, right? And this is the slicer actually I used.
Great, great, great.
So if I have to do Amazon buy, it will give
Mhm.
me for the Amazon
Wow.
and health spending. So basically filter, right?
Right, right.
So this is for utilities. I have to actually do something else. I was actually looking at this. So if I go to the expense report here, I have a date. So if you go on my tabs, I have done for November. I actually copy pasted for November and then I made for the November the pivot table just for the month of November, right?
Right,
And
I can.
December. But I think I can actually do it from here also. I
Yeah.
have all
Okay.
of it here, right? And I
Uh-huh.
can actually, I have to see how I have to do it. I don't know right now.
The date.
So
Group,
yeah, date actually, I just filter. I mean, I think I have to group
select
by
the top,
date, right?
select the topmost column and the header row. Go to data and you can apply filter.
Yeah.
Select date, description, category, amount. You can go
Uh-huh.
to data and apply filter so that all these things can be categorized.
Yeah, here itself only, right? With the, I actually can change the days into months. I think I in one of the videos I
Yes,
saw, the date I
exactly.
can change into the month, and
Once
then
the
I
what
can
is
group.
uh,
Yeah, I can group by the month. I'll do that. I'll find out how. I'll just figure out how to
yeah.
do that, and then
What
show
header
the month also. In the
the
columns, I will show the month also. I want to
sure,
show the month also. Or
sure.
I'll take the month as rows. I'll see. Categories, maybe I'll keep the columns because categories, I have a lot of categories and keep the month in columns.
Right.
And
I'll tell
then,
you, could you add a column? Could you select the column name description? Select the column name description. You know how to select column?
now
Yeah, column.
delete it.
Go on, go a bit up. Go a bit up as far as mouse goes. No, go down till your arrow starts pointing downwards, not the hand one. Again, thoda sa. Just go on a bit up, 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 slowly. Your arrow converts to a downgoing arrow. Your mouse pointer converts to a downgoing arrow. Just go up, up, up. In the description, no. Okay, go up, up, up. Move the mouse slowly upward. Your arrow, your mouse pointer will convert to downgoing arrow. A bit up. Yeah, just no, just below. Yeah, click on there. Click there. Yeah, click. Nothing happened. It should select your column.
Column I select from here, right?
Okay, right. Now
Yeah.
say right click the other button, click it and say insert. Insert columns. Yes. Right. Now you can say just click on 2b, 2b, 2b equal to date, date, in bracket mm, m, m. 3 times m bracket complete, enter. Enter. Oh, sorry. Okay. No.
No,
Okay.
no, no.
You need
It's
to
not.
click on date first and then type this thing. No. You need to click on date because the months of the first date, right? For the first column. Okay, click
So
on.
I just have to write month actually, right?
No, MMM is the format. Yeah, you can write month as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is,
it says it gives me down.
that's a month. But the equal to is for just press home on the keyboard. Home. No. In that column only, press home. Yeah,
Here,
click there. Click there. Press home. Home.
just a second. Where is home?
Or just press your
Yeah.
left arrow. Yeah. Type A2. A as an apple. 2. 2. Enter. What's not happening? Okay. In the take the go to the just say right here, just say click on 3A, click on column, click on cell 3A right now. Let it be as click on 3A, the adjacent cell band. Yeah, click. Okay. No, okay, sorry. Okay, let me tell you how it happens though. Can I share my screen? I don't know
Sure.
how I okay, I have to start Excel first.
It's easy, I think. Okay.
Yeah, give me a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Let me start with Excel, right? Yes, I need to go to Excel. Could you see my Excel?
Yeah.
So let's say today is 04/19/22. Enter. This is today's date, right? Now, if I want a day of this thing, I'll say okay. I was doing it wrong. Equal to, and here I'll say month, right? MONTH month. No. How do I do it? B6. I had to apply a month to this, right? So
I think just to widen the probably.
Is it month bracket P6?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Month bracket, and this is B6, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Now I need to say rather than month, I have to say month. Sorry, I have to use date function equal to date in bracket MMM comma B6, something like that. Does that help? No. I think I need to that Excel sheet wala training and go through that. I forgot that thing. This thing also do happen. So what was the training name again? It was Excel, right? Excel 21 something. Stay, give me a minute. Yeah, 20 Excel sheet, right?
Hello, everybody.
Let me share this thing. You have this video with you, right? You have the link of this video, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good video.
So there he basically
Let's
show
extract
you.
the copy 0.384. There is no empty blank column in between. Now press Control hit beautifully present on the data that you could show one sample out E, the machine, extract 24th March 2014, copy that, paste in the adjoining cell which is connected, and then press Control E. The results all do very good, but it's not perfect. So what do? I choose column C. I press Control Shift 3. This ensures all the dates which look like number gets shown as date format. Furthermore, I will get rid of all the underscore and the RDs and the TH, which prevent nothing. I can quickly click on finally TH replace all. I'll close this panel now. Next, if I wish to find out which of these are Sundays or Mondays, I may write a function called text.
Oh, sorry. It's a
Text formula asks you to choose the date value, and then in the format you have to give 3 times D in a pair of double quotes.
Okay, you got that? Means how we have to do it. Could you see my Excel now? So equal to txt text. Oh, sorry. Text value is this value, comma mmm.
We can't see your Excel. We are only able to see the video.
Still not working fine, I believe. I missed something there.
Enter.
We are not able to. Okay.
Into inverted comma. So that's what I was missing, I believe.
We cannot see your Excel sheet.
Oh, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Stop share, start share, and then there's the Excel. This Excel. Yeah. Could you see my Excel now? I'll now magnify.
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. See, it's happening, right? I'll do it again. So it's see. Could you see here? So the function is text mmm for month. If you want to do it for, oh no, it's not that way. And you can copy this thing as well. Copy this formula. Oh, come on. Copy. I want to do it for day, so I'll paste it here. Oh, come on. What happened? And instead of mmm, I'll write dd. Oh. So dd is the day. Oh, come on. I don't know why this is came here. So there's April. This is a day from. This is the 19th day. Now I want he said. We did DDD. So 3D is basically the day of week. 2D is basically day of start of the month. Okay, so this is a Tuesday. So 19th April Tuesday. Do you got how to do it? And you can align it the way you want. And if you want to change this thing, right? So there's a right click, format cell, and here you can choose all type of format. I can do something like this. And if I apply this, okay, you can change, see it's changed, right? Could you see how to apply, different labels to a day? Anybody, you could hear me?
Yes.
So this is the way you normally present your data with the given dates, day, and all those filters available within Excel. Okay?
I was on the other screen. Sorry, can you show the formula?
Come again, please. You want me to show it again?
Yeah, I actually missed it. I wasn't on the screen.
Go to the function name, it's text, right?
Yeah.
Then close, select the cell.
Yeah.
Okay, for the day, it's DDD. Okay, for the
Okay, that's what I did. I could not do it.
for the month, it's MMM. You want to do it month, right? MMM. Enter. Okay, and if you just you can have all those things increase. You can change this format of the day. This is going to show you. So you can choose format on right click, and there are many formats available. This is everybody's favorite. Then you can have these slide formats. So that this is more of my favorite because it gives you day, April, and the year. This gives you all the detail, but it's quite long. Or here the which I like is the compressed one. This is the compressed format. This is the shortest possible digit available. You can have a smart and small column, right? And then you can convert it to the day, month, year, and all those things. Okay. And if you want to have a help on these function called text, you can go to the where's the help here? Okay, here, and you can type text text function. Oh, come on, and enter. Okay, so it'll give you function result of text, align, rotate, combine text and numbers, wrap text, blah blah blah. Okay, split text, columns and function. See, you have all these function available with the text, right? So you can have a look at the text function, or you can say text and create, and you'll get the exact text-based date function. Convert date stored as a text to dates. You got that? How to get help in Excel?
Yes,
Anybody?
I'm trying to do that in mine. Can I show you? It's not.
Yes, sir. I'll stop my share. Please go ahead. And this is how we learn. See, you can't do each and everything, but there are certain things which, yeah, go ahead now.
I mean, this is such a simple thing actually.
No, there's a B4.
No. I did it. Just a second. Give me 1 second.
Type test.
Oh, I think this has merged. Hold on.
The problem with mouse and keyboard, I know. Say equal to text text bracket start. Now A2. Okay, you can click comma inverted quotes inverted quote complete. Enter. Yeah.
I did.
Wait. Click there. Why is not working? Okay, which version of Excel are you using? But it should work with every Excel. Means it's available from 2010. No, that's really big challenge. I don't know. Why the function is not working? Okay. Ma'am, there are so many. These things are open. Means in your laptop, desktop, I don't know, whatever you have. There are so many applications open in the taskbar. Do you see that?
Yeah, but does that matter?
Yeah, it consumes memory. See, computer is a machine, right? And if you give so much load to that, machine, it basically try to act funny. It's like, you're trying to use so many things on, one small. It's a small, delicate thing, right? So you should have one or two application at the most. Zoom, let it be open. Yeah.
Okay.
No, try this on your own. No, it's like this should work basically.
I'll figure out. Don't worry. That's okay. I'll try and figure out. Yeah.
Sure. I don't know. Okay. How do you check the version, right? So go to.
Should be the latest. Okay.
Yeah, this is the cloud version, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Office 365. It should
Yeah.
work. Okay. Let me go to the YouTube and check out if you have a date function on Office 365. Operates differently. So I go to YouTube. I'll showcase. I'll share my screen so that you'll understand. Give me a minute, please. Can I start share, ma'am?
Yeah. Please. I'll stop.
Yeah, no. See, this is my YouTube. I'm searching for Office 365 date conversion. This is my problem, right? Now here I goes. Okay, there's a different function. Julian date format, date value. Yes. Okay, the function name is date value. Let's have a look at it.
चमकना चाहिए हमेशा की तरह 15-20 मिनट में मत करना
Pardon me for this thing.
20 मिनट क्या 20 घंटे करूंगी
Come on. Yes.
Excel is the ability to add and subtract dates. This is possible because Excel stores each date as a unique serial number. It is only a cells formatting that forces a number to be displayed as a date. For example, January 1st, 1900 is stored as number 1. January 2nd, 1900 is stored as 2, and so on. May 10th, 2016 is 42,500, as it is 42,499 days after.
See, this is different in 365, Office 365. So he's trying to explain us how it's different. So it's a 2-minute video. Let's have a look at it. And then we'll basically work on ma'am's.
January 1st, 1900. The date value function converts a date entered as is date text
Sorry.
number. The syntax of date value function is date text that represents a date in an Excel date format, or a reference to a cell that contains text that represents a date in an Excel date format. Dates entered in the function must be wrapped in double quotes. Dates can be entered directly into the date value function in a variety of date formats. For example, they can be entered as month, day, year, or like 31st December 2020 or December 31st, 2020. Because the Excel date value function converts a text date to a serial number, you will have to make that number look like a date by applying the date format. The easiest way is to select the cells to be formatted and then select the date cell formatting option from the drop-down menu in the number group on the home tab. If the
Ma'am, could you try this thing, date value function?
Excuse me,
Vandana ma'am.
Ravindra ji. Sorry to interrupt. Can you let Vandy to enter? She has somehow got disconnected.
Okay. Go ahead, please, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, please can you let Vandana to enter because she got disconnected.
Oh, okay. No problem. So okay, she's not there. Okay, give me a
Yeah,
minute.
Vandy. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll add. Okay, yes, I'll admit.
Yeah, she texted me. That's why I'm telling. Yeah. Sorry, you were just continue.
Yes, welcome, Vandana ma'am. Sorry, we missed you.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
Pardon me.
Shweta.
Could you see? I've
year
shared this
is
link.
omitted in a text date, Excel's date value.
See, this is the date value function. If you see, this is the Office 365. Excel. You need to try something called date value function. So just oh come on, sorry. This is the date value function there. Okay, could you try to do these things as this guy does it? Give me a minute.
Date to a serial number. You will have to make that number look like a date by applying the date format. The easiest way is to select the cells to be formatted and then select the date cell formatting option from the drop-down menu in the number group on the home tab. If the year is omitted in a text date, Excel's date value will pick the current year from your computer system clock because it's the default setting. If you have two-digit years, they are interpreted differently based on the range of number you entered. The numbers from 0 to 29 are interpreted as the years 2000 to 2029. The numbers from 30 to 99 are interpreted as the years 1930 to 1999. For example,
he's specifically talking about Office 365. This doesn't apply to all. I use Office 2013, right? So this is specifically who are using the cloud-based Office called Office 365. Okay, please keep this in mind.
when you pass 1129, the function returns January 1st, 2029. And when you pass 1118, it returns January 1st, 2018. When you pass 1130, the function returns January 1st, 1950. Function will return a found value error if date text refers to a cell that does not contain a date formatted text. For example, cell A11 is formatted as date and not text. So date value returns a found value error. Found value error occurs if the supplied date text cannot be recognized as a valid Excel date. To download example Excel file used in this video, please click on the link in the description.
So Vandana, could you try these things?
Yes, I'm trying, Ravindra sir.
What I've searched Office 365 date conversion. Okay.
Okay.
And 1 month, right? MONTH. I'll add.
I tried this one, the date value, it is giving me that error.
Oh man. Create a month name from a date Excel. Okay, let's try out these things. So this 13 years. So this is definitely not Office 365. See here they have written years, right? How many years ago? They are looking for a year ago or a month ago. Exactly. Okay. Now this could be our thing as well.
Sometimes you may need to extract the year or month or day from a date. For example, you may need to filter all records that have order dates within a certain month or all employees that have time allocated to Saturdays. In such situations, you may need to pull out the month and workday number from the formatted dates. There are a few simple functions in Excel to do this. Let us parse the date in A2. The function year extracts the year from a given date. The year function returns a 4-digit number that corresponds to the year of a specified date. This formula returns 2021. The month function returns a number between 1 and 12 that corresponds to the month of a specific date. The day function returns a number between
Now I want month date, right?
that corresponds to the day of. If the date falls on a Sunday, the number 1 is returned. Function has an optional part of the day. Formula using a 2 as using 3 pass Monday, a date or a reference to a cell which has a date. The example was week 1. Day of the year returns 53.
Come on, these are all number based.
And so the function returns 1.
Okay. So let me stop this, go back to our list. Should this be the
date function converts a supplied year, month, and day into an Excel date. The date function returns the sequential serial number that represents a particular date. Syntax is year. The value of the year argument can include 1 to 4 digits. Excel interprets the year argument according to the date system your computer is using. By default, Microsoft Excel for Windows uses the 1900 date system, which means the first date is January 1st, 1900. Use 4 digits for the year to prevent unwanted results. For example, 07 could mean 1907 or 2000.
he's just talking about the conversion from text to numbers, I believe. So this, have a look at these things and you'll get an idea. Okay, and you have quite a good number of videos listed here. Play around with it, right? So this is like a month ago. So this can be also our these things. I'm just sharing this link of this video date format conversion from a lady. So have a look at it, and you'll get an idea which can basically help you in current scenario. Does that make sense, Vandana ma'am? Hello?
Yeah. I will figure that out.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
no problem.
thank you.
This is how we learn basically. If you get a hang of how we should search, how we should, get the details we need, you'll understand. Okay. Does anybody have any question?
Yeah,
on the-
because I just want to have one Excel sheet rather than selecting and then making different spreadsheets. I just want to, in the same raw data, I want to actually convert, use the Excel formulas, and
Right.
then from there only I should be actually able to make that.
This is how we do it. So there's
Yeah.
no difference of opinion there, and that's how we should do it. So that's why, and Excel is really great software. Believe me, I don't know why they keep changing these formula use, and why it's not working 365, but these things do happen. And as we seen all these new advancement, or every software company have their own way of what they call evolution or ease of life, and this is how it happens. So please don't worry, and we will use quite a good number of tools there. The correct way which I can think of right now is get the date converted to the number, and for 12 number have these what you can say legends applied to it. saying for 1, it's a JAN, for 2, FEB, and something like that sort. And whenever you get that number from that guides a text to string kind of scenario, there you can apply these, month number, and you can have those month as applied in your Excel sheet. Okay. Any additional problem there? How can I help? Or you could do it and we can have, discussion that thing in our next session. Does that make sense, man? Hello, could you hear me out? Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Sure. Let's go ahead. We had a look at MOM, right? So you understand MOM, right? Many minutes of meetings.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now let's take a look at one of the most crucial part called high level diagram. This is one of the most crucial element we need to do in terms of how we basically start building the concept or start conceptualizing the solution. And this way, what we do, we basically start expressing what we understand from requirement. Okay, so this is one of the most crucial part where we start giving the solution idea to the client, discuss it, get it sanctioned, approved. This is just an initial idea of a solution. Okay, and we'll just learn how we can do it with the ease. It can be something like pen and paper. You can use Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, whatever you want to use, or you're good in basically using these tools, right? So let's look at something called high level diagrams. And then there are something called low level diagrams. Low level diagrams are done by the architects and designer of the software solutions, or whatever you're constructing in terms of services, solution, project. Those specific designers, those specific architects normally create the low level diagram. Okay, high level diagram just has a couple of blocks, arrows pointing to each other. That's it. What you want to express here, what type of solutions are we looking for, right? And let's try to understand what HLD contains. These are normally referred as HLD. So if interviewer asks, tell me about HLD, so then you need to express in your words what is high level diagram. Okay, so high level diagram explains architecture that would be used for developing this software, developing a software product, project, solution, services. The architecture diagram provides an overview of entire system. It's an bird's eye view. It doesn't contain too many details. Identifying the main components, main blocks. That's why I said we have a blocks that would be developed for the product and their interfaces. So we can have a product, project, solution as per the need, developed based on those blocks. Or each block can be a separate product as well. The HLD uses possibility non-technical or mildly technical term that should be understandable to the administrator of the system, to the designers of the system, to the architect of the systems. In contrast, a low-level design further exposes the logical, detailed design of each of these elements, each of these blocks for programmers, the creators, the development, the builders, right? So if you are building a building, you can have a blueprint. So blueprint is my low-level diagram. High-level diagram could be a sketch given by the house owner what he is looking for. So house owner says, I need a 4-story building. But each floor plan is what you can call low-level diagram. But rough sketch with pen and paper of a 4-level building from outside can be an HLD. Could you understand the difference between HLD and LLD on a general level? Hello. Yeah. Could you understand the difference between the HLD from this building example? HLD just a conceptual block diagram, a bird's eye view, an overview. But if you go into the depth, it's a low-level diagram. Okay. Now we'll learn how to differentiate this thing. Such an overview helps supporting components to be compatible to others. The highest design should be briefly describes all platforms, system, products, services, and processes that it depends on and include any important changes that need to be made to them. Every type of end user should be identified in high level design, and each contributing design should give a due consideration to customer experience. So these are some type of additional expectation from a high level design. Let's try to understand how we do or how we draw the high level design, and then we'll take it up as an homework to draw some high level diagram, or I'll try to guide you how to draw high level diagram on our normal, discussed example. Me working as an analyst for Infosys, building a solution for attendance management system for State Farm, right? Okay, so let's try to understand HLD, high level diagram or high level design in good depth. Named as a conceptual, logical, modical overview, bird's eye view, or data flow process for business flow diagrams. There are many ways given to the high level diagram, or high level diagrams can be built as a conceptual diagram, logical diagram, and many other names in the industry. Depending on where you join, you will draw any of such diagrams, and we're going to have a look at it, all such diagrams to be drawn as an HLD. But we will start with basic building blocks of the HLD today, and we'll have a good hands-on experience on that, and then we go in depth. Okay, whenever we do project management or a product owner is basically in charge of this conceptualizing the solution. We are just an author or a creator, but product owner sanctions this diagram for you. Okay, and we'll look at that process as well. Let's try to understand. The highest level design should be briefly describe platforms, systems, product, services, and processes that it depends, and include any important changes that need to be made to them. So if I am enhancing the attendance management system, I should name it so, enhancement of attendance management system for State Farm. That's how I create the label for HLD. So label to the HLD is also important. The tools which I can use are MS VGO, Lucid Charts. The Lucid Chart we use for use case diagram, right? There's an option for Lucid Charts to create HLD as well. Then we can use the pen and paper, whatever you believe is most easiest for you. Then we have business process diagram, where we can have business process for, or they normally referred as a BPM as well. Now this is a new advancement. If you look at the BA book, they mention HLD as in BPM or BPNM, business process model diagram, where we normally have these activity diagrams specifically from the angle of business. Okay, so from the angle of business, the enhancement attendance solution can be 3 or 4 continuous blocks, as if the manual attendance to be converted to the automated attendance, to be converted to a centralized attendance management system, to be converted to a lesser and lesser human interaction with the system, and so on and so forth. So we can explain the evolution of the solution in a BPMN, and that's how that diagram can be drawn, right? Let's try to understand a basic, simplest possible way to draw diagram, to draw HLD. The main components, blocks, or concept of HLD are business problem, issues, challenges, wish list, requirements. On the left hand side, it can be in a one block, it can be in a multiple block. Same way, the solution is on the right hand side, where we have 1 solution, 2 solution, 3 solution, 4 solution. Does that make sense to you? Hello?
Yes. So the solution 1, they are the various possible solutions this problem can have, right? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Anybody want to say something?
No, this is Vandana here.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So various 4 options are there to solve this business problem,
It can
right?
be 5, it can be 2. Even the business problem issues can be segregated in multiple blocks.
Yes.
Okay, but the simplest possible is one block. So you can draw something like this as well. This was drawn by a student in our last to last batch. So attendance system enhancement. So he or she have listed the requirements on the left hand side and solution on the right hand side. And then when we discussed, we've added all those what you can say call outs, the stars and everything. So let's go through this diagram, okay, and understand what he or she is basically trying to denote, as in, how this diagram looks to us, right? So let me put it in a presentation way. So here we have current attendance management system, which is manual. We use paper, register, logbook, sign in, time with supervisor, observing the identity checks, conversion to digital HR. This is the requirement, right? Converting to the manual attendance management system to the automated attendance management system. That was the main requirement. Then time consuming, error prone. So we need to really give a solution which consumes lesser time. We should be lesser error prone. And many offices have their own standards. So we need to unify the solution, right? If you can see, there's a cloud in the background, right? Which denotes we are developing this solution on a cloud. Then we have solution called biometric scanner. So we can use iris scanner. You can give the company name or you don't want to, as depend upon you. Again, we can include leave management. We can include standard data distribution. We can include alerts. We can include approval. We have to build an unified system. There will be a central command. There will be a cloud deployment, so it will be available for 24/7. Then we can have guest entry passed also, which is discussed after we release the first version. So here we can say State Farm cloud server deployment. So State Farm will have a cloud service provider where they deploy their application. So that's how now we are going into the technicality of the solution as well. So whenever the State Farm PO, product owner, as the VP HR, have a look at this solution, he gets an bird's eye view. He gets an overview of the system, how the system will look like conceptually. Could you understand that? How the conceptual system is looking to you? Could you make some head and tails of the solution? Anybody? Am I audible?
Yeah. So this says that these are the various modules which can be implemented in this particular solution, right?
Perfect. And all those extra elements like this guest entry, and the SAP ERP, these are added afterwards because these are discussed afterwards. As we have various MOMs, right? The number of iterations of our meeting, we can get it modified and then include it in our SRS, or the SRS can be modified on fly as well.
Okay.
Okay. If you look at the same solution can be what you can say done by some different person. So here we have enhanced attendance management system, challenge with the manual attendance, non-centralized system, lot of manual intervention and so on and so forth. And then we are giving a solution. So rather than having a rectangular blocks, this fellow or the lady have basically built it on a cloud. So on a cloud, we have a cloud-based solution 24/7, centralized biometric scanner, leave management system, and so on and so forth. And in the bottom, I couldn't see because of this, Zoom. Okay, date 15 Jan, iris scanner included. So we can have these type of conceptual diagrams or high-level diagrams drawn for the system we are going to discuss. Okay. If you can recall, in GuruSchools, we have 6 pillars where we say we have something called project support. So even on job, if you couldn't do these HLD, I'll help you out, because HLD have quite a good number of variations among various organizations. Every organizations have their ways and means of building these HLDs, and many of them comes like these only, means you have a couple of blocks On the left side, you have a problem statement. On the right hand side, you will have solution that to be supported to. And this is a bird's eye view. Here, I never mention Android, .NET, Java, this server, that server. But here, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to build a conceptualized solution. Does that make sense to you? Could you understand what we mean by conceptualization? Yeah. So this is what the basic nitty-gritty of the enhanced attendance management system which we are building, right? Any questions on HLDs? I don't want to restrict. I don't want to restrict your thought process in terms of the artistic way of presenting a solution. What I suggest, take a few minutes after this session, try to build an HLD of a problem you have, right? Like we are discussing with Vandana madam, right? There's a problem in date conversion on Excel. She is using Office 365 and we had a steps, right? How we rectified or how we are trying to rectify it, and even if we can't get at the result, we should be able to build a conceptualized solution for such problems, right? So take any problem. You can take a problem of making tea in the morning, that as well, and build a conceptual diagram and you'll get a hang of it. Try to present it in our next session so that you will understand what you mean by conceptualizing a solution. Here, we are trying to build the initial concept or a logical thought process of our solution. Does that make sense? Anybody have any confusion at this moment?
No.
Okay. And in addition to that, last time we have a complete 2 lectures on high-level diagrams. I'll the links are come again. Hello.
I have a question here. This is Madina here.
Yeah, could you speak louder, please? Yes.
So for the HLD, sorry.
Yeah, could you
Also
speak
for the HLD, yeah, for the HLD, do we have to do it on our own, or do we have to be involved with other stakeholders, like the architects or something to create this?
This we are doing it for client, right? And client is going to approve it. So one way or the other, this has to be get sanctioned, right? Even like as I say, we are all artists, but my thought process is quite different from yours. So whatever I think is the right conceptualization can be wrong or can be in different direction. So there has to be agreement with the client. He also thinks on the similar line, or we need to come to a point where he also understand how you are thinking in terms of his solution. The solution we are doing it for a client, right? So sometimes the client also provides the HLD to you in some rare cases, but mostly we as a business analyst, we draw these diagrams. It can be pen paper, it can be a lucid chart, it can be Word, it can be Excel, whatever you are comfortable in. Or you can have a pen paper first and then convert it to the Word diagram. This also happens. I used to do that way. So whenever we are meeting, I'll draw some sketch with pen and paper, showcase to a couple of client where if you have gone to the meeting and when he or she the approval says yeah we are in sync. So then I used to convert that diagram to the Word and then email those Word file to everybody with the MOM saying please have a look at initial high level diagram of the solution and please provide with your feedback, suggestion, modification required so that we can refine this diagram and include in system requirement specification, the SRS. Does that make sense, ma'am?
Okay. Yeah.
So to answer your question, yes, we normally discuss it with the client. And also if you have other business analysts, you normally discuss within team first and then present it to a client so that he can review, approve, suggest, and all those things, right? HLD is the basic initial, what you can say, consummate of the solution. So this is the first stage where you are trying to conceptualize the solution in totality. The rest of the diagrams are in parts and pieces, right? If you look at UML diagram, they talk about mostly singular requirement. And then we're going to learn some other diagram as well, which are basically again correspond to more of a parts and parcel of some of the systems. But HLD is one of the most prominent, one of the most important diagram. And that's why I said I'll share some links of our previous session where you will understand. We took around 2 or 3 sessions on high level diagrams where you can go through these sessions again. And we have discussed similar diagrams there. And the others also presenting the HLDs. So you will understand how we have done earlier. And then we'll, basically, if you want to do, please do a kind of, homework or a revision of what you learned and try to build a diagram, a high level diagram for a problem, what you think is, can be current problem, or you can take this enhanced attendance management system problem and try to have your own conceptualized diagram. I'll repeat again. This is the diagram, or this is the point where we as an analyst start building the solution, start thinking about giving the solution to the client, the initial one, the conceptual one. Okay, does that make sense? Anybody have any question for me at this moment? I'll take it as no. Okay, now what are the other tools we use? From use case diagram, high level diagram, and Excel. Let's try to understand other tools we use as a business analyst. Now, these tools are not uniform as HLD, use case diagram, or Excel, but yes, most of the company use either one of the extra tools as well. So let's have a look at it. So basically, business analysts need analysis, analyze things, mostly thinking, conceptualization, business solution. And yeah, anybody have any question for me? Hello, somebody was trying to ask question. Okay, no problem, no problem. Sure. So I'll continue. Please ask questions if you have. Don't wait for my completion. So we had a look at the flow charts earlier. We had a look at activity diagrams. We had a look at use case diagram. We had a look at Microsoft Excel. Now we are going to look at something called mind maps. Then there are a product roadmap, and then there are SWOT analysis, and oh come on, and then Fishbone diagram, process flow diagram, workflow diagram, pestle analysis, ER diagram, visual modeling, work breakdown structure, and so on and so forth. There could be n number of such tools a world can use for a business analyst, right? But overall, we had a look at all compulsory tools. Now we're going to have a look at the tools which are basically used in prominent organizations. Okay, let's have a look at something called mind map. So mind map is basically a tool where we try to imprint our thought process. This is tool started evolving in late 1950s, where the psychologists basically, they came to a point and they want to basically build a hierarchical structure of the thoughts. That's how the mind maps have started. And then they slowly, steadily evolved to a tool called mind maps. And there are various number of tools available for drawing mind maps. We will have a look at one. And let's try to understand how mind map works. There is a what you can say root node called project or things to be done. So in the project X, I'll have enhancing attendance management system. In one branch, I'll say what. In what, I'll have list of requirements or business rules. List of requirements is basically needs to be 24/7, centralized, automated, and so on and so forth. Where, so what all location this project has to be implemented, this solution has to be implemented. So I'll have a list of offices. So State Farm has around 36 countries where the office locations are. So I'll include most prominent or whichever I'm going to address in the first phase. Let's call it phase 1 deliverables and blah blah things, right? When, so I'll include some timelines. So I'll start development in the month of May. I'll try to complete the first phase by the end of June, and so on and so forth. I'll have some dates as in timelines. How? So should I use Iris Scanner? Should I use Amazon Cloud? Should I use Microsoft Cloud, Google Cloud, Rockwell Cloud, and so on and so forth? I'll mention here. How? So Ravindra Pande is the analyst or a sales manager, and so on and so forth. The methods, I'll use mind map, Excel sheet, UML diagrams, high-level diagrams, and so on and so forth. Why? This basically corresponds to the basic problem, because State Farm having, these are the challenges with the current attendance management system, which is manual, time consuming, error prone, and so on and so forth. So who is basically the stakeholder? So Mr. Vice President, who is the product owner, Mr. So-and-so, HR manager, Mr. So-and-so, HR executive, we are coordinating, talking, discussing. From Infosys side, we have me, the sales manager, and if all the team members have been identified. So this way, I normally build a mind map. Now, mind map, as I told, it's basically evolution of a thought process, requirement elicitation to keep the track of what we needs to be done, include the detailing to the nth level. This mind map basically drawn to a 3-level mind map. It can go to the 4-level, 5-level, 6-level, depending upon your organizational standard policies and processes. Okay, so don't limit yourself. This is how we draw thought process. This is how we think. That's what the psychologists say. Good way to keep track of what we needs to be done. Problem solving techniques, better understanding of our thinking in a disciplined manner. Let me try to showcase this thing with a good video called how to create a mind map. Let me play this video for you, and you'll understand in depth how the mind map is normally drawn, right? So let me share that video with you. Where's that? Oh, come on. Yes. Okay, could you see the thing? Hello? Hello, could you see the thing in the mid between?
Mind map.
Yeah.
Could you? Yeah, the thing and area.
Yes, we can.
This person will guide us on how we build the mind map, and just try to have a look at it. Again, this is not a necessary thing, but this can be a really great tool if you want to understand your thought process or how your thoughts evolve. Okay, this is a kind of psychological tool business analysts use. Okay, so let's try to understand from a perspective of knowing this thing. Okay, there could be some interview by interviewer. What do you mean my mind map? So you can tell them it's a mind mapping techniques where we normally portray our thoughts evolution. Okay, let's try to understand how we use this practically.
Effectively, how to mind map your life, your shopping list, and anything else. Let's do this. First question really is, what is a mind map? A mind map is a collection of thoughts. Now, at this point, you could say, well, that's the same as a to-do list. And in a way, it is. But here's the difference. A to-do list, or any type of list, is a linear thought process. Every item comes after another item. And here's the thing, we don't think in a linear fashion. Our thoughts are more like explosions of thoughts branching out in every way. And that's where mind mapping comes in. Mind maps are usually a better way to capture thoughts, and the term mind mapping itself means to map your mind, to map your thoughts. So that's the theory over with. Now let's get on with the action. Okay, so here I have a blank screen. This represents a blank piece of paper. By the way, you can mind map on paper or you can mind map using a tool, and I'll talk about that later in this video. I use both methods, by the way. If I want to capture some thoughts, I'll start mind mapping on paper, but the only drawback is that I change my mind very often, and I end up crossing out a lot of things on the piece of paper, and that's where software makes this process a lot easier. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's step back and look at the action. We start by drawing a shape in the middle of the paper. Now you could draw a circle, but keep in mind that we have to write inside these shapes, so a circle is not really the best shape. I stick to this shape. Now this is going to be our central topic. So let's call it the thing. This is the thing that we want to mind map about. Okay, so now that you have your central topic down, you just let your mind do its thing. Let the thoughts come and write down all the thoughts that are related to the thing. So let's say, for example, you needed to go and buy some clothes. Clothes shopping would be the thing, that would be the central topic. Your mind would then fill up with thoughts about all the things you need to buy. For example, you might think jeans, a t-shirt, shoes, a jacket, and so on. Those are the thoughts that we want to capture at this stage. So in our example, I have the thing, which is what we're mind mapping about. So I'm going to draw another shape, and I'm going to call that area 1. Area meaning area or aspect of the thing. So if this was about clothes shopping, this first shape could be jeans. Then I'm going to draw another shape to capture my next thought. This one, for example, could be t-shirt. Then I'm going to capture the next thought. Let's say this one is shoes. And I'm going to repeat the process as many times as I need to. Every time a thought pops into my head about the thing that I'm trying to achieve, I'm going to record it on my piece of paper. When you have all your thoughts in front of you, just link them. Everything is linked or branching out from the thing. Next, we're going to think about each area and see what thoughts come up. So for example, if area 1 was jeans, then maybe we want to buy a pair of black jeans and a pair of blue jeans. So I would draw 2 shapes and I would write in there blue jeans, black jeans. I'm writing item and area here just to build a template to demonstrate that this can be used for anything. Then you just repeat the process for every thought. And what you're doing here is you are creating sub-thoughts or sub-areas of those main areas. And of course, you link them all together because all those thoughts are linked. And when you run out of thoughts, then you have your mind map completed. And you can see the difference between a mind map and a to-do list. When you create a to-do list or a list of any sort, you are writing in a linear process, but your thoughts are not linear. The whole point of mind mapping is that you don't lose any of those thoughts. You can capture them quickly by simply adding that thought to the corresponding area or category. And this is why mind mapping is very effective. So let's look at a practical example now. Let's see how to mind map your life. So once again, we're going to start with a central topic. And since you're going to map out your life, then my life would be a good name for the central topic. Now, to walk you through the thought process, imagine that you want to map out the rest of your life, or you want to at least create a mind map that encapsulates where you want to go with your life in the next few years. Remember, it's all about capturing those thoughts. So to start with, we'll create a bubble called career. So let's use the term career loosely here. This is either you working for somebody else or you working for yourself. Next, we'll draw a bubble for relationships. And next, we'll draw a bubble for money. Now note that these are not in any particular order. With a mind map, there is no up or down and there is no left or right. Just like the thoughts in your head, they don't usually have a beginning and an end. So let's go ahead and draw another shape for goals, and another one for travel, and another one for health. So all these bubbles represent different aspects of your life that you want to map out. Each one is as important as the next. Okay, so next we're going to link all those thoughts. And next, we're going to focus on one of the bubbles, let's say, for example, career, and we're going to let the mind do its thing. And your job is simply to sit still, listen, and capture those thoughts as they come out. And you do that for each one of these bubbles. And by the way, these bubbles, in mind mapping terms, are usually called nodes. Okay, so let's go ahead and capture some thoughts. You can see that on the career, I have come up with training and jobs. This is an example, of course, but let's say somebody wanted to have a career and the thought process could have been, I need to get some training first, and then I need to start applying for jobs. And that's what that represents. Then for relationships, we can have love and friends. Then for money, we can have debt and savings. And of course, you can add as many nodes or sub-nodes as you want. For example, under money, you could have investments. And under debt, you could list all the types of debt that you have. And if you choose to work with your mind map on an ongoing basis, you can actually cross out those bubbles as and when you accomplish them. For goals, I added 2 goals. You can add as many as you want, and you can break down those goals into as many nodes or sub-nodes as you want. For travel, I added 2 nodes this year and next year. You may be more focused on travel, so this may be a bigger node for you. Then for health, I added 2 things, diet and exercise. You will note that I've added 2 examples for each main node, and that is just to show you how to create a mind map, an effective mind map, and keep it simple at the same time. But of course, you can focus on any of those areas or those nodes, like training, for example, and ask yourself, what types of training do I want or do I need? And you can expand that node into a lot more nodes. Your mind map really is infinite. You can keep going, mapping out your thoughts for as long as you want. Now let's look at one final practical example. Let's wipe this out and start with our shape and call this one shop. I wanted to do this example to really show the difference between a mind map versus a to-do list. So let's use an example shopping list to create our mind map. Here you'll see fruit, veg, dairy, frozen meat, and bakery. Now what we're doing here is we are separating the categories of food that we want to buy. It's very annoying to find items on your shopping list that are at the other end of the supermarket where you were 2 minutes ago. So creating a mind map instead of a to-do list will help you deal with that. So following the process we looked at before, you would think about what kinds of fruit you want to buy, what kinds of veg, what kinds of dairy, etc., and capture all those thoughts like this. So here we have apples and bananas for fruit, tomatoes and onions for veg, cheese and yogurt for dairy, and so on. You get the point. And you can see why mind mapping is an effective way to manage and map out your thoughts, whether you're mapping out your life or your shopping list or anything else. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, you can use software to create your mind maps. There are plenty of mind mapping tools, and I talk about a lot of them in my channel. On that note, if you're interested on tools that help you become more effective and tools that help you succeed online, then please subscribe to the channel, and that way you don't miss any of these great tools. And if you're interested in exploring mind mapping tools, many of which are free or come with a free plan, then check out the videos that you see on your screen right now, or click the links in the description below this video. And remember, take it easy, and I shall catch you in the next video.
So this is about the mind mapping. Do you find it easy? Do you think you could relate to how we basically express our thought process in a mind map? Okay, any question on mind map as of now? Anybody?
No.
I'll share the link of the video so you can go into the depth and have a look at other tools which we have, tried to explain within mind map. Okay, let's look at the new tool. This tool called product roadmap. Again, these are mostly called maps because we try to build certain type of directional scenario here, right? And that's why these are called maps mostly. So product roadmap. So product roadmap are used by product company which build products. Product in the sense they build car, they build mobile phone, they build products like software products, antivirus software, Microsoft Office software, and so on. But product roadmap normally focuses on product development. So first we'll try to understand a validated value propositions or a business model of a product. Then we normally differentiate the different roles and their responsibility for this product development. And then we build a plan called roadmap, where we'll say product owner will express his idea of what his vision for this product. Then the business analyst will evolve or elaborate that idea to a level, to a conceptualized level, where other corresponding team members are also take part in giving that conceptualization a good overview, sanction, approval, so that we can zero down to a conceptual design by the end of May, and then we'll think about how we can build it or how we can plan it better on a month, week-wise, or day-wise scenarios. And that's how we start building product map. The best way to create agreement is to involve the key stakeholder in creating a roadmap. So normally it's a team who builds product roadmap. Normally mind maps are done by a singular person. So an analyst or a product owner can build a mind map and share with others. But the product roadmaps are normally drawn in a team meeting. This allows you to leverage their idea, knowledge, and helps to understand the roadmap is realistic and actionable. So at the end of the roadmap, what we can say, go roadmap, there we have a number of days, number of action items, and number of responsibilities attached to it. That's the result of roadmap. By running 2 or 4 hour workshop to create a roadmap, this is how the picture illustrates. Normally, as we seen, it is done in a meeting, and we normally meet a number of stakeholders to build a roadmap. Then a product roadmap communicates why and what behind the requirement, what you are building, what you are constructing, right? What type of products are you building or are you trying to conceptualize? A roadmap is a guiding strategic document as well as a plan for executing the product strategy. Now, as we said, this is a strategic nature. Let's try to understand what is strategy. We normally improve our life on a daily basis, right? So if there's a problem, we'll address that problem then and there. That is what we call tactic. But if there's a continuous problem, let's say our roof is leaking, so we might need to rebuild the roof, or I need to call somebody to get it repaired. And this is what we call strategy. So strategy is basically a solution which we'll try to build for a longer time, or we'll basically build it with the help of others as well. So it normally took more than a couple of months to build this thought process or the solution. So that's why we call it strategy. Tactical are short term, immediate. Strategies is a long-term solution. So when you say strategic document, the document which provides solution for a long-term plan, how we'll solve these issues. Okay, let me play a good video on building product roadmap, and then we'll discuss about how product map is different from other tools, right? So give me a minute. Building. It's also a very small video where a lady will explain us how product roadmap is normally built in our organization and how we could get leverage from it. Okay, let's look at a smiling lady here. Could you see a smiling lady with a black shirt?
Yes.
Now let's hear her out and then we'll discuss.
How's it going, product people? This is Victoria from Product Plan, and today I'm going to talk about roadmap basics. We get a lot of questions on this topic, like what is the goal of a roadmap, who is a roadmap for, and what belongs on the roadmap. So let's answer those questions and tackle this topic. Before we get any further into the video, if you're watching this on YouTube, this video is an adaptation of an article on our website, so I've linked it below in the description box. It's super easy to understand and a step-by-step guide into roadmap basics. I highly recommend you check it out. Product roadmap is a high-level visual summary that maps out the vision and direction of your product offering over time. It communicates what you're building and, more importantly, why. Your product roadmap has a handful of goals. First, it's to describe the product strategy and vision. Second, it's to be a guiding document on how you'll execute on that strategy and vision. Third is to get alignment from your stakeholders. And fourth is to facilitate a conversation around scenario planning. And fifth is to communicate with your external stakeholders and your customers. So the goal of the roadmap is to describe, guide, align, facilitate, and communicate. Sometimes it's easier to understand what something isn't to better understand what it is. So your product roadmap is not a list of features. It's not a product management tracker, and it's especially not a backlog. That's because they're all missing this key ingredient, and that's strategy. Your product roadmap is the strategic document to communicate your vision of your product and your product portfolio. With a dedicated product roadmap system, you can visually communicate your strategic reasoning with stakeholders and cross-collaborators in a single source of truth. It should look something like this. Your roadmap should include themes, epics, stories, and features. The beauty of a product roadmap is you can create a portfolio view, and then from there, create different roadmaps for different product lines or depending on who your viewer is. It's important that you create the roadmap with the viewer in mind. So let's quickly talk about the various stakeholders that you might be presenting to. On your executive level roadmap, you want to focus on high level concepts. Things like customer satisfaction, growth, new market penetration, churn, anything that communicates how your product is connected to business goals and outcomes. This is usually a longer in duration roadmap compared to, say, your engineering roadmap. Engineering roadmaps are much more granular in scope. You want to be as transparent as possible on the engineering roadmap. So it includes things like release dates, features, sprints, and milestones. On your sales roadmap, you actually want to exclude release dates. That's because this is the roadmap that the sales team uses with prospects, where they communicate the benefits of what's coming down the pipeline with your product. And then lastly, you have your external roadmap. And this one should be as visual as possible. People want to know what it is that you're going to be doing later down the line. So I'm going to stop right there. All the roadmap templates that I just went over are linked in the description box below. So go start your own roadmap. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.
So roadmap is basically just a simple, it can be an Excel sheet, or you can use any tool which is given by your organizations to build a product roadmap. And these are normally done with a product company. So if you join a product company, you normally work on a product roadmap. Anybody have any questions on roadmaps? Again, these are optional tools. So whenever you think of such tools, if you join a specific companies or a specific group of company using this tool, then only you will use this tool. Otherwise, these are just, kind of good knowledge as a person. So we are just trying to acquire this knowledge to make sure our life will be easier the next day, and so on. So anybody have any questions on product roadmap or mind map?
No.
Okay, great. So let's take a step further and try to understand SWOT analysis. This is basically, again, a kind of psychological tool. It started building as a psychological tool, and then it evolved into a really good, analyze tool as far as the market goes. And mostly all the big companies, including IBM, KPMG, policy making company, they use these tools. This tool is called strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threat. So what you do, you analyze all the requirements into these 4 quadrants. They call it quadrants. They call this as an separate tables where you normally list your requirement to. So one is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. So when I talk about these things, let's try to understand from a practical perspective. Okay. So let's say if I need to drive office on a day, let's say a snowy day, I have an old Ford and I have a new Honda. Let's say I have 2 cars. So what should I take? The weather is really challenging. There is a snow. Should I take the old Ford or should I take the new Honda? What do you think? What will you decide? What will you decide as an if this is your problem? Tell me, what do you decide? Could you hear me out? Hello?
Yes.
The new
Yeah.
one.
New one.
Okay, great. Now, what we did, instinctively or with our thought process, with our experience, we did something called SWOT analysis. So what we did, what our mind did, let's try to understand the strength, let's try to understand the weakness, let's try to understand opportunity, let's try to understand threats. So here, strength, new car will be better because it'll have less chances of failure. The weakness, again, the old car might be failed, might let me stranded in a snow, or what all seasonal challenges you are experiencing there. Opportunity, this is a good opportunity to try my new car. I might drive slower because of the challenging scenario, but I'm very sure as the car is new, the chances of failure are quite lesser. And I'm sure I'll reach at the end of, if I normally reach in 15 minutes, I'll say I'll reach in 20-30 minutes at the most because of the challenging scenario of the weather, be it a snow, be it a storm, or whatever it may be. So then there's a threat. So what type of threats I have? Okay, if it's a snow, new car will definitely have a new tire. So there's a less possibility of getting skied and all those things, right? If it's a rainy season, then also new car will have, I need to drive slower because there's a threat and I need to address that threat in my way. And that's how we basically build this thing in back of our mind. This we do, what you can say, without thinking. This is how we bought up, right? This is the basic analysis capability. And mostly as an Indian, we are being brought up with such scenario. Find your own solution kind of things, right? And that's how we normally do this SWOT analysis. That's within our blood. That's what I'll say. Okay, let's try to understand from a technical perspective. In strength, we'll try to understand things that your company does well, because we do a business analyst for another company normally, right? So we're trying to address this thought process in those scenarios. Qualities that separate you from your competitors. So this is what we call unique selling price, USP, and so on and so forth. Internal resources such as skilled, knowledgeable staff. So if I have a knowledgeable staff who have implemented biometric and retina scanner, I normally suggest them retina scanners, suggest them biometric scanner. If I have more resources with who have implemented retina scanner, I'll suggest retina scanner or iris scanners to them. And then of course there are other angles with the property, capital, profitability, technologies, and so on. The weaknesses, things your company lacks. If I don't have too many resources in Spain, so for implementing the solution in Spain for State Farm, I might leverage an outsourcing partner. Because of the timeline, I can't go and recruit. But if I feel like I have certain, known person there, I might dial them and check out. Could you recruit a couple of, workers for me in Spain for implementing State Farm attendance management system? And then you might train them, and all those other scenarios. But weakness is what we need to address, right? So things your competitors do better than you. Reduce resource limitations, as we just discussed, right? Unclear unique selling proposition. But this is really a wrong problem to have for a product company. So your unique selling proposition should be very clear. Like as in business analysis, my strength of which tool I'm really comfortable with. And let's start with that, because this will give you a good thinking process, a good thought process to express yourself in much better scenario. This is your strength. Then opportunities, understand the market for specific product. Few competitors in your area or a monopoly, right? Emerging need for your products and services. Press, media coverage of your company, your brand, and so on and so forth. The threats, emerging competitors, challenging regulatory environment, corona, spreading diseases, home working, work from home kind of scenario, negative press, negative media coverage, changing customer attitudes toward your company. Customer can be a challenging customer. These things do happen in real life. So this is what the SWOT analysis is all about. SWOT analysis is the business analysis process that ensures the objectives are categorized into 4 different quadrants, and we analyze them on the weighing points of each of these 4, that is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. Okay, again, this is an optional tool, but quite big company use this tool, and mostly the human resources, the HR, they use these tools quite often. So if you join any human resource company, any consulting company, any company where you normally try to build a new strategy, you normally use SWOT analysis. Okay. Now SWOT analysis, stand for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. Strength and weaknesses are internal factors, and opportunity and threats are external factors. SWOT diagram analyzes a project or a business venture by focusing on each of these factors. So we do try to categorize based on these factors. We'll try to add, various strength, weaknesses we have internally and externally, and try to basically share across these 4 quadrants. It typically consists of 4 boxes, 1 for each area, but the exact shape may be depending on the design. These analysts make business analysts to validate the requirement under consideration and discussions. Let me play you a good video on SWOT analysis, where we'll understand how SWOT analysis is done practically with the example, where we'll basically have a look at a good practical way to build SWOT analysis. Okay, give me a minute, I'll share that, and then we'll take a question, and then we'll break for the day. Could you see a wide screen?
Yes.
Okay.
In this video, we're talking all about SWOT analysis, what it's used for, the various elements and considerations of building a SWOT diagram, and how to get started doing it. SWOT analysis is a key part of any business and strategic plan. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths and weaknesses are internal factors, and opportunities and threats are external factors. A SWOT diagram analyzes a project or business venture by focusing on each of these factors. It typically consists of 4 boxes, one for each area, but the exact shape may vary depending on the design. SWOT diagrams can be especially useful when trying to decide whether or not to embark on a certain venture or strategy by visualizing the pros and cons. By clearly outlining all positives and negatives of a project, SWOT analysis makes it easier to decide how to move forward. First, you want to figure out how to build on the strengths of your organization. A SWOT analysis will help you identify the parts of your business that are doing well. These are your critical success factors, aspects of your business that are strong and give you a competitive advantage. Recognizing these assets will help you continue on at a high level, and you will need to find ways to leverage and build upon these strengths to grow your business. Next, you'll want to identify ways to improve on your weaknesses. Weaknesses are the factors that put you at a disadvantage to your competitors. Figuring out what these weaknesses are and taking actions to lessen them before they hurt your business is essential. This stage requires a detailed and candid analysis of what is going wrong within your organization. Now, you'll try to identify the opportunities available for your business. Try to pinpoint openings in the marketplace that you can take advantage of to help your business grow. These opportunities are caused by external factors, such as market fluctuations and trends. Always consider your strengths and weaknesses when assessing these opportunities. Not every opportunity is right for your company at the moment, but it may be not too far down the line. And now we'll try to figure out how to respond to threats to your business. Market fluctuations, government regulation, or public perception are all external factors that may affect your business in a negative way. By identifying these threats and finding ways to lessen or eliminate them, you are clearing the way for smoother sailing. As with opportunities, you need to consider your strengths and weaknesses when assessing threats. It's important to note that a strength for one part of your organization might be a weakness for another. For instance, the old-fashioned brand image and 100-year-old history of a company may benefit the farm equipment division, but it may not be such a boon for the new tech division. For this reason, you may want to perform a different SWOT analysis for each part of your business rather than for the business as a whole. Also, you'll very likely have the same factors listed in more than one of these categories. You can see how a company's weakness, for example, its lack of presence in a marketplace, could also be a major opportunity going forward. Here are some things to keep in mind while doing a SWOT analysis. Try to keep your SWOT diagram brief and to the point. Include the most pertinent details, but don't bog it down with too much explanation within the diagram. You can go into greater detail during meetings or in reports. Be sure to utilize employees from various areas of your company when getting input during your analysis. Consider feedback from your partners and customers as well. A variety of perspectives will result in a more thorough analysis. Keep the core objectives of your company's business plan in mind while performing your SWOT analysis. This will help guide you through seemingly unrelated internal and external factors. Arrange the results of your analysis in order of the most important factors to the least. This will help you prioritize action points going forward. With all that in mind, let's look at how you build a SWOT diagram. First, determine the objective. Decide on a key project or strategy to analyze and write it at the top of the page. Next, create a grid. Draw a large square, and then divide it into 4 smaller squares. If you're using a diagramming program like SmartDraw, the templates already do this for you. All you have to do is type in the spaces. The boxes, of course, should be labeled strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. These are titles, so they should be distinguished from the rest of the text using either color or font size. Add the factors that affect the project to the applicable boxes. Factors are typically listed in bullet form. Continue adding, removing, or editing the factors as you go through your process. That's all there is to it. Now, draw your conclusions by analyzing the finished SWOT diagram. Be sure to note if the positive outcomes outweigh the negative. If they do, it may be a good decision to carry out the objective. If they do not, adjustments may need to be made, or certain objectives may need to be abandoned. Be sure to keep your SWOT analysis in an easy-to-access place for future reference and discussion. Some managers may want to keep an ongoing SWOT analysis, updating the diagram on a regular basis. Others may prefer to revise the analysis quarterly or yearly. Either way, it should not be left stagnant for long. We hope you've enjoyed learning about SWOT analysis. Thanks for watching.
So again, this is one of the most important tool if you work with some like HR company or something like that, right? So let me share the link of the SWOT analysis also, and we'll basically try to understand if there's a need, we will have a look at some hands-on example as well. But I'll post it till we do some interviewing or we start preparing for certain specific interview where the job description includes SWOT analysis. Again, this is a type of decision analysis tool we use whenever the business analysis involves taking decisions on behalf of the stakeholder. And you normally draw the SWOT diagram, SWOT analysis diagram, and then present it as an auditory fact whenever we try to support whatever we have already decided. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions at this moment?
No.
Okay. Let me share the presentation. Let me share the video, the YouTube link as well, so you can have a look at them also. Right? Yes. Somebody want to ask a question? Okay. No problem. So let's stop here. Let's meet again day after tomorrow. That's on 21st April at 9 p.m. EST. Okay. Thanks a lot for your time. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Most welcome.